Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I spent my entire life living in fear because of religious control. And I believe everything in the Bible, but not just everything in the Bible. I believed other people's interpretation of everything in the Bible. And I didn't dare question anything that I thought didn't make sense because I was told if you question it, you're questioning God directly. And what right do you have to question God? So I was fooled once, but once I figured out that I'd been lied to and that other people had manipulated the Bible to control me and millions of other people, I decided I'm not going to be fooled twice. Because if I just go back to another religious control system, then that's my own fault if I continue to be duped. So once I was duped once, I decided I'm not going to let anybody tell me that I cannot ask questions. I'm not going to let anybody put a cap on my brain where when I start to question things like, well, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. And then somebody says, oh, no, don't question that. That's questioning God. You see, if we have the ability to think up these questions, that means we have a lot more intelligence to keep asking questions. So if somebody puts a cap on your thinking and say, no, you can't ask any more questions, then there's something wrong with that. Now, the purpose of this channel is that I discovered that all of us, just based on street smarts, we can figure out and decipher what is BS and what is not. We don't need to follow any religious leader. We don't need someone else to interpret the Bible for us and then tell us when they put a cap on our brain and say, oh, well, at this point is when you have to stop asking questions. And it's not just with religious systems, it's the same with, say, even a New Age community. Where I mean, there's so many different teachers in a New Age community, so many videos. We might think that whoever's got the most subscribers, well, it must mean that they have the truth, but not necessarily. In fact, we know this with the mainstream media, right? The bigger the station is, it doesn't necessarily mean we can trust them more. And now, because alternative media is so big, there's just as much deception in alternative media as there is in the mainstream media. Well, maybe not as much, but you know what I mean. So what the hand that I was dealt with all the stuff that I went through and what I would call a double dark night of the soul, two extremely life-altering events that many people don't ever get themselves out of. So when I've gone through what I would call a double dark night of the soul, I was forced to use my street smarts to navigate what the actual truth is. And for those who have not had a rough background, for example, if you had parents that actually loved you, no parents are perfect, but if you had real love growing up, then, and you've had maybe a decent life, you might feel that you don't have street smarts. But street smarts can also be substituted with a high level of common sense. You see, a high level of common sense does the exact same thing that street smarts does. And that is why I named this channel Street Smart Spirituality. Because all of us have the ability to be geniuses. And we don't need necessarily a teacher. I mean, teachers are helpful. I'm not saying I'm against having a teacher or taking classes. But what I'm going to show on this channel is that we can dive through every subject that comes up between religion, the New Age, stuff that we see in the media, and even things such as how smartphones are actually designed to dumb us down. Right? I mean, I don't know about you, but I can't spell anymore. I was a better speller in the fourth grade. When I was having spelling competitions in the fourth grade, I can spell better than I can now. Now I can't spell anything because as soon as I start to type something up, the smartphone automatically puts it in front of me. So my brain is no longer thinking it. I can't recall how to spell simple words when I do have to write something down. But anyway, that's just one of the many subjects that I'm going to cover. But everybody has the ability to be geniuses, and we can use street smarts to decipher religion, the Bible, what part of the New Age community is true, and what part maybe we're being misled on. And we don't need anybody to interpret anything for us. And some people in the spiritual community get involved in debates and things of that nature. And one thing that I'll say up front is, I mean, I'll debate anybody because in my mind, I don't even consider a debate. If somebody's right, I have no problem admitting that they're right because I just want to find the truth like everybody else. So I'm not here to debate anybody. If I'm wrong with something, please tell me. Now, as far as my credentials, I'm not going to get into some of the horrible things that I went through because you probably wouldn't even believe me if I told you some of the stuff that's happened. But I want my content to speak for itself because what I plan on doing in this channel is I'm not here to try to convince you to believe anything. I'm not here to try to convince you that you shouldn't believe in the Bible. But what I am here to do is to help everybody use street smarts to reason on things without having someone else have to interpret things for you. That's all that I'm here to do. If you look into these issues yourself, and if you still find that the Bible is the word of God, more power to you. I just want to help everybody use their street smarts to not feel that we need other people to tell us what to do. And the same thing with the New Age community as well. We don't have to just take the word of whoever's got the most subscribers and assume that that must be the truth because they said it. We can use street smarts to decipher what is true and what is BS. And that is what I hope, or that is what I will accomplish on this channel.